With more than 2 million downloads, this is your number one source for true crime coverage in America. This is Murder in the Morning with Tony Bruschi and Stacey Cole.
From the Hit Killers Podcast, Murder in the Morning.
I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot about this case.
Good.
To the dismay of a few over the next year. Nearly 14 years after the controversial death of Ellen Greenberg, found with 20 stab wounds, some post-mortem, in her Philadelphia apartment, the case is receiving renewed attention. Keep in mind, this was ruled a suicide. The Chester County District Attorney's Office, which took over the case in 2022, is actively reviewing the investigation and could soon provide updates. A spokeswoman for the Chester County DA's office confirmed that detectives and attorneys are working on the case. It's all dependent on where our detectives are at the investigation, Dana Moore said, not noting that an update could come soon in the coming weeks or months. The case initially ruled a homicide before being controversially changed to suicide, has been surrounded by a lot of questions. Pennsylvania woman who identified herself as an amateur cold case investigator provided PennLive with information on this after reviewing hours of surveillance footage from the Venice Loft apartments in the Manayunk neighborhood where Ellen lived. She claims to have identified a mysterious man behaving suspiciously around the time of Ellen's death. The woman reported that the man captured on video between 4 p.m. and 6:10 p.m. appeared nervously bouncing around before heading upstairs when Ellen's fiance, Sam Goldberg, was at the gym. She described seeing the man come downstairs with injuries, head to the bathroom, later return with something large hidden under his clothes. Afterward, he picked up a swipe card dropped by Goldberg without examining it. He didn't look at it to see what it was, but he checked to see if anyone saw him. That's what he told PennLive. His timeline and related images were turned over to the DA's office 2 years ago. Moore did not comment directly on this new evidence, but emphasized our detectives and attorneys have been on this case. Every lead, everything is being taken very seriously. I hope that these guys are going to do better than what they've had in the past. Oh
my God.
It's the Chester County DA's investigation marks the first official review, finally, of the case since the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office, under then AG Josh Shapiro, completed an exhaustive review in 2022. Despite their efforts, which included new forensic analysis, the AIG's office ultimately handed off the case due to a conflict of interest. For Ellen's parents, Joshua and Sadie Greenberg, the AG's review was insufficient. They spent $700,000 of their own on investigations challenging the suicide ruling. Their fight for justice for Ellen has led to 2 civil cases. One of these cases, now before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, could set a precedent for families challenging the manner of death rulings made by coroners. The Greenbergs' legal battle also includes allegations of a conspiracy between Philadelphia authorities to cover up what they believe was Ellen's murder. We hate to leave Harrisburg, Sandy told PennLive, explaining that financial pressures from their private investigation forced them to sell their home and relocate to Florida. Ellen, a 27-year-old elementary school teacher, found stabbed in the kitchen of her locked apartment during a snowstorm. Despite the severity of her injuries, Philadelphia detectives quickly classified her death as a suicide, and her apartment was never treated as a crime scene. Philadelphia medical examiner initially ruled her death a homicide, only to change it to suicide months later without any sort of explanation. The Greenbergs are hoping that the Chester County DA will bring the closure they've sought for over a decade, with Ellen's mother stating, "We're still fighting for our daughter."
I don't mean to chuckle. I'm not chuckling about Ellen in any way. I'm chuckling because there are people behind the scenes who are shitting their pants right now, because guess what, motherfuckers? You are going to be outed. This was a scam from the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember last year at, I think it was Thanksgiving, I don't know why we were talking about murder cases around the Thanksgiving table, but we were. And I brought up this case, and at the table were two dentists and an attorney, and well, actually, and a physical therapist who's a doctor. And it was just this. I mean, all three or four of them turned and looked at me and went, "That was ruled a suicide." And I even pulled up pictures of like a graphic of what it would have looked like for her to stab herself in the back of the head several times. And they're like, there is no physical way. I mean, these are medical professionals who studied human anatomy. And they're like, there is no way that this woman killed herself with 20 stab wounds in her back. What's going on here? And I'm like, just wait. At some point, it's going to come out that this was a huge conspiracy. There's something going on behind the scenes. I don't know what. But there's no way that this was a suicide. There is no possible way.
No. I don't know. I mean, there's, everybody has their theories and everything to this. I'm wondering if it wasn't the fiance. Obviously, he's never been charged with anything. I'm just purely speculating here. If it was not him and it was something to do with that guy that was on the camera, then was he acting alone? Was this something that someone hired? And if so, who?
The whole thing about something dropping on the floor that Sam had dropped, being picked up by this person who was acting nervously. Something is, we're all thinking it. I'm not going to say it. It's allegedly at this point. Doesn't feel good, does it?
I'm wondering if she knew something. I'm wondering if she knew something about something in some family or something that they didn't want.
She was a teacher. What the heck could she even know?
I don't know. Like at a get together or something I don't know. I'm just completely speculating here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I mean, it's a pure speculation. She knew something and then somebody had to get rid of her for whatever reason that is. I don't know. I'm not insinuating anybody. I'm just like, I don't know.
It just doesn't make sense. This woman didn't appear to have any nefarious dealings. She was a teacher.
This would have been a hit. I mean, what a weird way to kill somebody, but I don't know.
It seemed incredibly violent. I mean, I don't, maybe she fought and that's why the person had to get really violent. Excuse me. But if you're going to kill somebody, a couple quick stabs and get the hell out. This just seemed like it was really malicious.
Was there a person on the side that she wanted to break it off with, or and nobody knew about? I don't know. I mean, I'm just, then it's because when going for his crime of passion, the malicious, the way that this was done. I don't know. I mean, that's because it seems like something a lover or something like that would be the person that's doing that, or somebody very close to that person. And if it wasn't her fiance, then who was it? If we have this person in there and there's that level of, passion in doing something like that.
And here's what I don't understand. Sam and Ellen were not married at this point. They're just engaged. There's nothing intertwined. I mean, maybe they rent an apartment together. Easy enough to split up and be done. I mean, if that was the case, if he wanted to be out of the relationship for some reason, easy to do. I mean, not easy, but not as intertwined as being married. Here's the thing. Her ring was found on the counter. Oh, maybe she said, you know what? I'm done. Yeah, I mean, that's I believe, directly from the parents, that her ring was on the counter. And there's like some theorizing there that maybe something of that nature happened. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think the city of Philadelphia has a lot of answering to do. The fact that it was not really treated as a crime scene.
Yeah.
The ruling being overturned about her cause of death. There's just a lot of like this entire web of what the fuck.
Yeah. And, we'll probably get through the web of what the fuck, and they'll get a real investigation going as best as can be done for a case that's this old. But are we going to get any sort of, well, let's look back at the chain of what the fuck here and determine how this all went down in the first place or didn't go down in the first place. But Are they going to do that? No. That part's not going to happen.
All right, true crime addicts, let's cut the crap. You're knee-deep in the gory details of your favorite podcast when suddenly a commercial hits like a bad meal. Seriously? You deserve better. Upgrade to True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts, where you can binge without those annoying ads. Plus, get extended interviews that go deeper into the darkness and early access to episodes so you can be the first to know. It's like trading up from fast food to fine dining, but with more blood. So, go ahead. Search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and feast on the good stuff.